Welcome to the Pixel Retentive Podcast, where we, a business owner and an artist, discuss the business of art and the art of business. Hey friends, I'm Carl, founder of Epic Made, and I'm the host of the Pixel Retentive Podcast, where we share our thoughts on creativity, art, and business. Past guests include Danielle Lacourte of De Lacourte, Krista Lee Beck of Comma Copywriters, and Shireen Strasberg of 87th Street Creative. I'm forever grateful for the supporters of our podcast, and we are always looking for more sponsors. That said, Pixel Retentive is brought to you by the creative gurus at Epic Made. Epic Made is a creative studio that brings entertainment quality animation and illustration to brands that want to stand out in gaming, tech, and pop culture. We help companies tell stories that resonate with nerdy, imaginative audiences and turn viewers into communities. Visit getepicmade.com and let's collaborate on your next creative campaign. All right, so with us today, we have Zoe Hawkins. Welcome to the show, Zoe.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Really stoked to have you. It's going to be a fun conversation. So,
Bet you say that to all the guests. I'm just saying.
I say some version of that to all the guests, but I definitely mean it. So does that?
I mean, as soon as you said nerdy and creative, I was like, I am in the right place. You know?
Absolutely. I love it. All right. So Zoe is the queen of content. She's a B2B tech marketer, gamer, sci-fi geek, mom to an almost 10-year-old, and avid weightlifter. She's married to her very own developer persona. She's lived on 3 continents and is now based in Arizona.
Yep, that's me.
There it is. So what 3 continents were you have you lived on? I assume obviously North America.
North America, Europe, and Africa.
Ooh, what 2 locations were you at in Europe and Africa?
So I studied in the Netherlands. That's where I got my bachelor's and master's. I also actually went through high school there, International Baccalaureate, shout out. Cool. I did that in The Hague and then in Maastricht in the Netherlands, and then met my amazing husband there. He was not my husband when I met him, obviously. Told him I'd follow him anywhere in the world, and he was like, cool, you're moving to Africa. And we lived in Johannesburg for 10 years.
Oh, wow. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The IB program, huh? That's pretty cool.
Right?
So super smart in high school, obviously.
It's all they had for international kids. So you had to just pull yourself together.
You got to do what you got to do. It's still working for you. I can tell. So. Awesome. All right. So before we get into today's topic, I'd love for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. So can you tell us how long you've been in your industry and what project you're most proud of so far?
Cool. I mean, I've been in content marketing for almost a decade now, but then because I was a video game and tech journalist before that, when I add up all my SEO experience, then I get into that scary number on the resume where I'm decade plus, 15 plus, you start rounding to the nearest 5 years, I think. So yeah, been doing wordy stuff for a very long time, just in different forms, whether that's journalism or content marketing. And then the stuff I'm most proud of, most recently, I got to do a whole bunch of animated video product explainers, and that was super fun. Just kind of, I don't know, getting to direct voiceover actors and pick music and do, all the stuff that it's still content, but, I don't normally get to do in my day-to-day, which is super fun.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I can relate as, at Epic Made, we mostly do animation. So
nice.
We've done a lot of animation. So it's super fun for sure. So
yeah.
I still remember that we did the first time we got a really big, oh my God project that was basically we got hired to do a thing for SpongeBob, and it was so amazing. We redid the title flip sequence for SpongeBob, the title sequence for SpongeBob as a flip book comic, and it was amazing. However,
incredible.
We did listen to the theme song probably hundreds of times that summer. So
I mean, so have I, but that's just because I have a kid. So same.
I love it. Today, we're going to be talking a bit about future-proofing content, smart updates, and creative resilience, and all that sort of stuff. And you've been making content for a long time in various forms, so I thought it'd be awesome just kind of open up with some of your thoughts. What does content look like now that's actually working and doing stuff in different industries?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's been interesting for me to see especially some of the older stuff that we made that's like what's old is new again kind of vibe. Like I'm a big believer in content optimization. Um Basically because like someone put a lot of time, energy, hopefully a little bit of love, hopefully not too much blood, sweat or tears into something. But someone put effort into creating a piece of content and then it kind of lives on your website or wherever you've put it. And then it kind of rots on your website over time. Like it just kind of decays and, loses some of that value, whatever that might be. But there's still power there. There's still an essence there that I think can be kind of refreshed and harnessed. And making that a process that's fun for the next writer, I think is really important because it can feel like the least creative work to be like, take this old blog that this guy who isn't even here anymore wrote 7 years ago and make it new. Sounds awful. But when you do it, it's actually so valuable and needing to find ways to like encourage writers to do it and find the fun and the creativity and the value in that.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you said content optimization. What does that mean to you?
I mean, I'm going to change my definition all day, every day. It
Sure.
used to, a few years ago, that was very much around optimizing for SEO, obviously, like being discovered, discoverability in the content, but also really changing um tone or style. I feel like the way that we wrote online even 5 years ago is so different to how we write now. And so, things that were fun or quirky or whatever are kind of cringy now. And so
Mhm.
when you read some of those older pieces that need an update, then yeah, by optimizing, sometimes it means like, can you like cut the grossness here and like make it sound like a human wrote this for another human, even though they did back then. Like we just don't talk to each other the same way anymore. And then
Yeah.
now, like in the last year or two, it also means writing for the robots because they're going to be our Skynet overlords one day.
Yes.
But for now, they just scrape everything we do and making sure that things are written in a way that the AI masters that I say please and thank you to when I talk to
Oh, 100% please and thank you
100%.
in
Yes.
every chat GPT prompts.
Always, always.
Uh,
But yeah, like that, making sure it's also optimized for the robots, for the agents.
and not the Russian robots that face plant on their debut. To be
Indeed,
fair, I don't
indeed.
I don't know if you saw that, but like it's like, oh, somebody got defenestrated today
Yeah.
in Russia for that.
Oh.
Oh, by the way, the fact that we have a word defenestrate, which means to throw someone out a window, that we needed a word because it happens so frequently. We don't want to say it that often.
Right? Like that
Yeah, it's
cliche about how many words for snow people had in the Arctic. We now have how many words for ways of killing people. It's great,
yeah,
great, great.
it's
Yeah.
sad. It's very sad. Um, but so, anyways, that was an ADD tangent.
Love
But
it.
so, I would love to hear your favorite slash worst cringe things we have let go of in old content creation.
I mean, I think my worst was finding like a cat meme blog on a B2B tech, like a cat meme article on a B2B tech blog. And I was just kind of like, why is this here? Like, obviously, it was funny. Like, it's cute. Everybody loves a picture of a cat. Like, we know that cats own the internet. It's fine. But I
Yep.
was kind of like, who posted this and why? Like, trying to understand the target audience. Even the memes felt old, like we don't use those cats anymore. Like, I don't know. It was really funny to see, to be like, oh wow, memes have moved along in recent years. Like we don't have the same cat overlords anymore.
Yeah. I guess I'm dating myself a bit now. I'm 40, but like I only recently started sending gifts to people. Maybe in the past, like since COVID, right? Like
Hmm.
so like I was like, oh, I'm gonna find a gift. Like, wait, what is this? Like
I
I don't
love sending gifts to people.
yeah,
Embrace my elder millennial roots or whatever it is. Apparently it's a millennial thing. Gen Z thinks we're cringe for using gifts, just
right.
telling you.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's one of those things. I'm also a big GIF user, but it is like the memes that we use, the jokes that we use. I mean, I'll make jokes sometimes and people are like, that's a deep cut. Like I'm quoting movies from however many years ago. And I'm like, okay, this is not necessarily like memeable to this audience.
Yeah, you got to think about, well, who's going to get what, pop culture references. We talk about that a lot actually at Epic Made, right? Because there's a lot of times when a good Easter egg goes a long way, and it's like, but like, who are we sending this Easter egg to, right? Like, is it boomers, or is it Gen Z, or is it millennials? And then obviously there's like the weird like zennials, so it's just like where I'm at, right? Like right between, I'm basically like a geriatric millennial with like
That's
touches of
me.
Gen
You and
X.
me
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
I love it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
but it
funny.
is. It's hard to know like which jokes will land and like is our
Mm.
audience an executive buyer audience where you can still make those jokes and maybe they're a little bit older, but they are still in our buyer persona versus like maybe the practitioners, are they older? Are they younger? And like which jokes will they get? But yeah, definitely the like Icon has cheeseburger is old. Like we don't need that on our site anymore.
Yeah, I love it. There's a yeah, it's like oh, I had a thought in there. I think I just totally lost it. Damn.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it'll come back. They always
it will
do.
come back. It does. It does. I got excited about it. And I was like, that lost it. It's a spun right out. All right. So, um, you mentioned resilience, creative resilience, or like that's a concept that we talked about earlier on. Like, what does that mean to you in a content creation space?
So, I mean, I feel like, and I alluded to this earlier with the optimization side of things, where often the work that we do in a company, in wherever you do your job, even if you work in a creative field, it's still work. And like it can still feel like you're not getting the chance to necessarily embrace like creative pursuits or creative experiences in the same way that someone who is, a pure artist might be able to say that they follow whatever path to their artistry. And so I feel like there is a need to still nurture creativity even inside work environments. And so,
Of course.
talked about it as creative resilience, talked about it as creative health, almost like mental health or physical health.
Mm.
In the same way that I don't know, like I go on my little walks around the block throughout the day. Is that good for my physical health? Yes. Is that good for my mental health? Absolutely. It's also really important to my creative health. Like sometimes that's going to do so much more for solving a problem or thinking through an idea than just banging my head against the keyboard until something comes out. And so
Yeah.
thinking about what nurtures our creativity and what builds that creative resilience that then, yeah, when I have a deadline and I need to create a blog or I need to draft a script for a video or whatever it is, that I can sit down and just like hammer something out because I've done all the work to have, a really healthy or resilient creative essence that, survives 7 hours of back to back meetings.
Oh my God. So that all hit home for me really, really hard. So I'm an artist, right? When I
Hmm.
started my company, it was me. Like,
Right.
there's 11 of us now. We do all kinds of crazy creative stuff. Guess what I don't do anymore in the business? Anything creative, right? Like I'm busy running the business, doing sales, doing this, fixing that, paying stuff, books, all the shit, right? So it's like I didn't do any creative for years and years, right? I like woke up one day, I was like, why am I like sort of miserable? Like I made this whole life from scratch, right? Like there's no one to blame but me if I'm not enjoying it, right? Like
Yes.
so, and I started really looking at it and I realized like I don't do any art anymore. Like it's like I'm an artist. Like if you ask me what I like what I do, like I'm an artist, right? Like yeah, I own a business, I do this, but like I'm an artist in my core. Like I identify as that, right? Um and so anyways, I started to get back into my creativity on this like whole healing journey. I think I might have mentioned that
Yes.
too, but like when my dad died, and that fixed so many things of my mental wellness because I would just get burned out so much doing all these things that I can do. I'm
Hmm.
capable of it. And hell, sometimes I love it. Like I really enjoy building a business and providing a place for creatives to live and have a healthy lifestyle. And but like I still had to feed that part of my creativity, right? So I had to give
Yeah.
myself space to do creative. So I started the live stream, started doing stuff like that. But like yeah, that's that. So that was nurturing the creative side of me to have that mental health and wellness, and then also realizing that like I wasn't doing enough exercise and making space for that. So I started to kind of revamp sort of that, and it's probably been over a decade now, but it was really important. And to your point, like I'll get stuck in my creative development of just the business and like thinking outside of the box. And so I created a routine, I'd say it's probably been since COVID, right? So probably like 5 years. Was like every Wednesday morning, I drop my kid off at school and I drive to the woods and
Oh,
I go for a walk. And there's
nice.
like it's like a trail that's like it's like 1 mile in, and there's like a it's like a 3.5 mile trail, but 1 mile in, there's just like basically like an adult jungle gym, right? Like it's got like pull up bars and squat things and all kinds. Like so you go work out. So I walk there. I got my headphones on and I get a 1 mile walk in and I work out real hard. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care what it is. I just put on the right clothes and I go on this outdoor adventure and I get some fresh air and I see animals and I think, and I can't tell you how many like existential problems or creative ideas or even inspiration for my live stream to do my own personal art just comes up because I take the space to check out from everything and go in an environment that nurtures my creativity, fills my cup, so I have more of my creative ideas, a creative just any kind of thing that like it's the muse, right? And that
Yeah.
like there's a mind body kind of health connection there that you were talking about that is just so true. And I encourage that with all the people that work with us too. It's like, I don't want you to burn yourself out. Nobody had 40 hours of amazing grade A creative in a week ever. It
Mm-mm.
just doesn't happen, right? So like, I don't expect anyone, even if you're full time here, to like work 40 hours. And I just think that like there's some sort of mindset in corporate America where it's like, yeah, you just grind them out and just get some new ones. Like I hate that. And you don't get good work out of it. So anyways,
Yeah.
that was my
And I mean, I think it's so linked together, like what you were saying. Like, I have seen, it was funny because I was like, did I invent the idea of creative health? Like, then I'm Googling, like, creative health, is this a concept? Like, did I absorb this from someone? Or is this something that just spontaneously emerged from my brain? And it's so funny when you search for it, it's so many things around using creativity for physical and mental health, like the classic, basket weaving in a mental institution or whatever, like that's where my head goes. It's
just like
obviously other
yeah,
things.
drooling
Uh,
on yourself. I'm not
but
crazy. So,
exactly. But like there is that piece of like having a creative outlet and people who, learn to write or paint or whatever in, these other environments, and it helps them with their healing, like totally connected. But the way I really think of it is almost like its own system, in the same way that like when your mental health deteriorates, like everything else kind of deteriorates. Same with your physical health. I feel like when your creative health deteriorates, that's what, you were describing earlier. Like you just don't feel good. You feel miserable. Your mental health deteriorates. Even your desire to do things to improve your physical health can deteriorate. And so I feel like it's all really interlinked. And regardless of what your creativity is, like I can see it, with friends, people who love to cook, people who love to, it doesn't just have to be, what we would consider art in, so many other realms that we work in. But, whatever creativity means to you in terms of like being excited to play with your kid and like play pretend, that's a creative act that, honestly, sometimes I'm not feeling either. And like, what does it mean to nurture that sort of creative, playful side of yourself?
1,000%. I think we need to start like a creative health online institute. So me and you,
Yes.
that'll be a side venture. But it's so true. I really like. Have you ever like been to a fifth grade classroom and seen a kid that didn't enjoy being creative? No, all humans are creative. Like we
Yes.
love to create things, right? That's part of like our fulfillment. And like how do you, and that manifests in all the different ways. Like you can feel creative with the way you put together the spreadsheet, and that all the little details in your formula that you're like, oh, what if I do this? Boo, boo, boo. That's all creativity.
Yeah.
Writing a contract is creative. Writing copy is creative. Like everything's like I love to build things, like do like coming up with ways to like I cut a hole in my wall and I'm making a pantry right now for like because why was there
Why
dead
not?
space and why
Yeah.
not need a pantry? But like that feels creative when I'm doing it, right? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm exploring and taking in information and kind of like coming up with ideas and like, oh, what if we did this and what if we did that, and like it's just, and it feels really good. I think a lot of core depression happens in people when they're not nurturing their creativity in some fashion somewhere. They're on the rat race and in the wheel, and there's like every day is the fucking same. It's Groundhog Day. Like there's no creativity. Like
Yeah.
I had a job like that where I was working on an IT help desk on a military base. And it's like, yeah, there was some like creative problem solving when people called up. For the most part, it's like resetting passwords, like, hey, turn your computer off, turn it back on. I literally wanted to die. Like that was when I started my business. Like I quit that job. I was like, never,
Never
ever,
again.
ever again am I doing anything fucking like this. I literally don't want to get out of bed in the morning. And that was the greatest inspiration to never quit this job, this business, no matter how bad it got. You just do something you hate for a year before you start your business, and you'll be really inspired.
So
Like
motivated. So
that's my advice.
motivated. Yeah.
So
But it
yeah.
is. I mean, I think about people who are like, oh, why do I have the best thoughts in the shower? Why do I have the best thoughts like on the drive to work? And I'm like, because that's when you have time to think and breathe and imagine.
Mm,
Like, when you're not distracted and you're not trying to like be on that rat race. And I think that's just it is like, I try and even save room for quiet, which I think is really hard to do. Because I love an audiobook, I love a podcast, all that sort of stuff. Like I'm very into audio content as well. But even then, it's like when I go for my walk around the block, I'm not bringing my headphones. Like I am walking around the block. It's 10, 15 minutes, but maybe I hear birds, maybe I hear cars going by, maybe I actually listen to the thoughts in my head. But it just nurtures that space to just think about whatever and not be on the clock. And I encourage everyone on my team to do the same. Like, I think having
same.
those gaps, having those margins is where the creativity can really come in.
Yeah, yeah, it's making that space, right? If it's full of busy, crazy, like there's no room for something to just show up, right?
Yeah.
That inspiration, right? So that's an active meditation. I'm huge in yoga and just mindfulness and
Yes.
just like taking time to breathe. Like I get up every day and do 6 a.m. hot yoga because it just sets the tone for the day. Like I just got in there and intentionally checked out from the rest of the world. I'm just here. I'm just this physical body. I'm trying to let all the thoughts go and just listen to whatever this like super fit crazy lady's telling me to do that sounds so easy. She's like, now just bend on this way and just like whatever. I'm just like,
Now pull your foot through, and it's like,
yeah.
where?
But somehow in that madness, I find calm and peace.
I
Like
love
I
it.
don't know what that says about me. My dad used to have a funny saying. He's like, you can really tell how fucked up somebody is by how much they have to run to feel normal. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, like, well that sort of translates to all the exercise.
All
But
the
like,
exercise. As someone who
yeah,
throws barbells around, I feel
yeah,
that deeply. Like
100%.
I always joke, like no one can push me around, like no one can intimidate me when I've thrown, whatever weight over my head. I'm like,
Love it.
nothing else in the day can intimidate me, but it is also that space of like, I'm just a body. All I have to do is 5 sets. All I have to do is, 5 more reps, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
just having that room to just be in it. And literally, I have a notepad that I write down ideas because sometimes between sets, I'm like, I have to remember this and like write it down because that's when the inspiration can finally hit is, or even just like connections. I don't even know, like inspiration feels like this miraculous thing that just like pops in. I feel like
Right.
it's connection. It's like you've taken a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and somehow your brain remixes it in a way that feels unique and new and interesting. So,
Yeah. Um, it's yeah, again, it's just like when you have the space for your brain to wander. Like I think it's just like, oh, this thing and that thing. Like for me, like I really love nature and I'll just be walking through the forest, and I'm like, oh, that mushroom's amazing. And like also watching, like I've walked these same trails,
mm-hmm.
hundreds of times, right? So like seeing them in all the different like in snow and like, or it's been really wet and damp for like 7 days, or it's really hot, or it's really cold, or it's spring, or it's fall, or it's winter, and all the combinations, like seeing how all the things change, and it's just really fascinating, and then it inspires my art, right? Like, oh, well, it would be cool to have that kind of leaf texture on like a thing doing this. The next thing you know, like I'm taking pictures and pulling it into Photoshop, and it just feels really cool. There's there's a book called The Artist Way. I think you and I
Oh,
talked about The Artist Way. Oh
yes,
my
yes,
God.
yes.
I gotta get her on my podcast. Oh,
Oh, put her
she'd
on
be
the wish
amazing.
list. She'd be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Julia Cameron. But yeah, just like going on your artist state. Like that's like what I've labeled my forest walks as, is like this is my artist state, right? Like where I just go here just to feel good and be inspired so that I can make cool content with my team and have great ideas to go, hey, let's try this or do that, or the whole creative vibe there. So yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a big journaler. Like I've always been super into journaling. And so the idea of morning pages, I love. I don't do them the way she says. If you bring her on the podcast, don't tell her I said that. But like because of just the schedule of my day, it's not when I first wake up because it takes me way longer than the half hour she claims it was going to
Of
take.
course.
So I'm like, I work out, I have breakfast, I take my kid to school. Like I've already had morning activities and then I try and get my morning pages in. But there's something so freeing about it doesn't matter what you're writing as long as you fill 3 pages. And like, I'm a big
Yes.
stationery snob. Like, I love my fountain pens, I love my fancy notebook, all of that. And so, like, literally just enjoying the tactile experience of writing with my pen on paper is such a delight every day. And it's like just discovering the feel of a word in my hand, in my brain, all of that. I love it so much that then,
Hmm.
I get my 3 pages in and I want to keep going, but I have a life that I need to attend to. But that I think there's so much power and meaning there to really find like, sometimes it's not about the output. Sometimes it's just the act of doing it that then will release whatever that creative health output would be. Like I'll be 2 pages in just rambling about errands I need to run and things I'm thinking about and a conversation I had with someone who irritated me and whatever that is. And then like page 4, I'm like, oh, that conversation actually reminds me, like, what am I really irritated about? Oh, it's actually like this key concept. Oh, that actually relates to this other thing I was journaling about 3 days ago. And suddenly now I have something that, you know, I'll post about on LinkedIn or whatever. It becomes it
Yep.
becomes the next piece of actual content that I might want to create.
Yeah, I love that experience too, because you again the like free formness, right? And like that's sort of how I like to make art too, right? Like that for me is
Yes.
art, right? When you just like let the expression out. Like so you're writing and this pops in, you write about and you're nurturing the randomness. And then when you find this little nugget of wisdom, it's like, oh my God. So like I have like little post-it notes that like I write it on there and I stick it in the whole front of my journal is just like all these like little things I discovered about myself, which is
Oh, I
cool.
love
Uh,
that.
I love it too, and it's also weird for me just on a tactile side. Like I never like I take notes on like a notepad, but there's so many times I'm writing, I'm like that word just looks weird. Like I'm not used to writing this word, especially not like
Yes.
it by hand. I'm just like looking at like is that's the right word? I guess weird. Yeah, I'll like look it up because like I have to know now. It's just a weird little tactile thing there. So yeah.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, like I say, I love a fountain pen. I love good paper, all of that. Like it's so vital for me. Like it's so like life-giving for me. And so
Yeah.
I think there's that piece, exactly what you're describing. Sometimes just seeing the word on a page or like in a way that I can see in a journal that maybe I wouldn't see if I had typed things where I'm like, I've used this word 7 times in this paragraph because I'm a terrible writer in my journal, but also because clearly that word is just like in the flow or how it's feeling in that moment or jumping out at me. So,
Might just be a great word. Doesn't
my,
mean you're a terrible writer. Just
yeah.
like sometimes some words are better than others. We know
Sometimes
this.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's super fun. So
Yeah.
I mean, look, you brought this up a couple times, so we have to ask, our the royal we. I don't know
The
who the hell else.
yes,
No one's
we
here.
yeah.
What are your favorite pens and paper? I have my microns here. I love these for drawing.
Okay.
All the different little tips, and then I've got this like this Prismacolor, fine liners. So, anyways, but these are more art based pens. So, what are you
So
working with over
I
there?
my favorite is a Lamy 2000. It apparently won all these design awards. I don't know if you can see. So it's a fountain pen, but
Ooh,
it's got a piston filler, so you can fill it with like a bottle of ink. Even the ink bottles from Lamy I love because they come with blotter paper built in and like a well so that you get every last drop of ink. Like it's just super smart design. So I love my Lamy 2000. They are very the Marmite of fountain pens, I would say, because if you grew up learning to write with German fountain pens, which I did because I went through Waldorf education,
Mhm.
if you learn with German pens, you hold your pen at the correct angle to write really fluidly and not never have an issue. If you're someone who just like went from ballpoint pens to fountain pens, Lamy pens are unforgiving. They're like, this is not the way to hold your pen. Like, get yourself together. Um,
So you're in a whole different world. I don't
like,
even know what you're
I don't
talking
even know
about.
what
This
you're
is great.
doing. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
this is
great. So
great.
like apparent like because I have loved Lamy pens forever. And then I fell down the Reddit fountain pen rabbit hole as one does. And there were all these people who were like, it doesn't even write. What is all this love for them? Like they're impossible. People are like, you don't know how to hold a pen. And it's just like the most magical internet fight ever. So I do love that. I love my Lamy fountain pens, and then I am obsessed with the CD notebook. These are like imported Japanese paper, and I use the red one is the graph paper. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, I love graph paper. Yeah.
So it's the graph paper. I love it, and it's the smoothest paper. And then even with fountain pens and like ink, it doesn't bleed through. So I
Oh.
love that. And then if I'm doing like notes, I don't have one here, but I do the dot pads from Rhodia. A designer got me hooked on those actually. And so it's like you can pull out the pages or whatever, it's just kind of like a normal notepad you can rip out, but the perforation is perfect. So it always rips nicely. It's also dot graph. Love those. Love, love, love. And
Oh.
super smooth paper as well.
There's something nice about smooth paper,
Yeah.
and I do miss that. Like, I went to art school and studied
Hmm.
art, as you can imagine, and doing all digital for the most part. Like, it's just there's just something different. Like, even though we've got the textured screen, it's like, yeah, but it doesn't.
Mm.
It just doesn't. It's not the same.
It's
Like,
not the same. Like, even when
it's
I'm
not the same.
stuck, I go to pen and paper. Like, I've had times when I'm trying to figure out a video and like, what's the flow? What's the script? Or I'll have things where I'm trying to figure out, like I'll have talked to an executive and, I'll have the transcript, I'll have the recording, like you say, all the technology to know what was said. But in the end, like sometimes I just need to use pen and paper and be like, okay, we're going to start with this, and then it goes here, and then blah blah blah, and then like an arrow, like no, I'm going to move this here, whatever that is. Sometimes it just comes out better with pen and paper, I think.
Yeah, my wife's like a hardcore pen and paper note taker, right? Like it's awesome. I go in there and check out her stuff. I mean, she gets into like she's in like a bunch of like legal things she's doing right now with like some
Hmm.
court cases. But like she's so like methodically organized with this stuff. And she has so I bought her I bought her the ridiculous sparkle like neon glitter pens.
Uh-huh.
So like she takes all her notes with like the black, black ink, and then like has a whole system of like pink glitter equals this and green
Oh, I
sparkly
love
glitters that.
it.
And she says she's in these like meetings with like, $600 an hour attorneys, and like everybody there is like super. And she's just like, they'll look over like, are those glitter pens? And she's like, oh yeah. And then,
Oh
like, and
yes.
especially if it's a woman like around our age, like super jealous, like, oh
I
my
love
God.
it.
Like,
Yes.
like immediately back in middle school, just like it's amazing.
But that's
So
something as well, like I don't know, a few companies back, there was a woman I worked with and she was great. And anytime I would ask her a question, she'd be like, I have notes. And then she'd like go into her notes and she had had a conversation a week before or something like that where she could refer back to. And that was my goal always to be like, when someone asks me a question about how I know something or where something came from, to be like, I have notes. And so it's been really fun because I take handwritten notes and then obviously there's like digital records of meetings and things, but I love it so much. So I'd love that for your wife as well to have the glitter. I think I gotta add the color to my repertoire because everything is just black. Well, purple ink and graph paper.
yeah, purple is a great color for sure.
Yeah.
Um, cool. So, some other little things that I wanted to ask. Let's see. What are some of your favorite industries to work in?
So it sounds so boring, but I really do. I feel like such a LinkedIn bro even saying it, but I really do enjoy B2B tech SaaS. Like I know that sounds so gross, especially having been like a gaming journalist and I love the gaming space. But even in gaming, like I work at a B2B tech SaaS company now and one of, some of our bigger clients are gaming companies. And so
Yep.
like it's still a business, but I just think it's so fun. It's such a creative act to take like super technical, nerdy topics and make them fun and digestible.
100%. And I think the space it's a great space because like when we started creating content and kind of niching down for our own brand, right? Like
Hmm.
because when I started this out, I did the same stupid thing that every newbie entrepreneur does. Like, we're gonna do everything for everybody, it's like, and then nobody cares about you, right? Like it's like,
Right.
but so as we niche down, we started to realize, like, as we're creating our content for nerdy brands and all the things, like we have this very like fantasy themed thing going on for our brand. We're like, oh well, that might alienate some of these tech companies. It's like everybody that runs these tech companies are nerds. Like they love this
Yes.
shit. Like, so it was like, oh my god, so it was perfect. So we our best budgets always come from B2B tech, like, because they have the most money, right? So then it allows you to be the most creative because you're not worried about, like, how do we fit these big creative ideas into these tiny little budgets, right? Like,
Right.
which can happen in some of the indie game space, and especially like indie board games and that kind of stuff. We're happy to I love those people, and we still do work with bunches of them. But you get limited sometimes on like how big your ideas can get based on
Hmm.
like what you're working with, right? And like there's just
Yeah.
bottom lines in business, and I love that in the tech space, like you have generally a nerdy audience that really gets some of the stuff, and there's always fun little Easter eggs and things you can thread in there, like, because everybody loves this shit. And then also, like, there's funding, right? It's not pharma, but like it's like we have a 12 billion% profit on people's wellness. So, and then
Yeah.
you just feel like an asshole even
Then you just feel like a
participating.
terrible human. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No.
like, yeah, well, it's like, hey, buy our insulin, or you're gonna die. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
no,
it's not
so
really a choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I mean it is. I think that's just it. And it's also fun, like how much it changes and how fast,
Yeah.
like I feel like in tech, there's always the next thing, the next thing. So it makes it that there's always something cool and new and interesting that you can kind of learn and play with and figure out how to tell the story around.
Yeah, for sure. So if you can speak to like one of your favorite projects, like what's one of those that you've worked on recently? You don't have to mention any like nouns if there's proprietary information.
No, I mean, so we recently launched our AI capabilities at Sumo Logic, and that was super fun to work on just because like everybody has AI now. So what can you add? What can you share that makes it unique and fun and interesting? What are some elements that just kind of make it feel um I don't know, still fun and nerdy. Like to your point, like you want to be able to describe your AI as not just like it's a magical black box because tech people don't want to buy a magical black box. Like
No.
they want
Yeah.
to know how the tech works. And so really kind of navigating that like it makes things easy. It's an easy button isn't necessarily the message that's going to be well received. And so kind of playing through what that looks like. And so and it's just always cool because whenever we have a big launch like this, I get to play with lots of different form factors. So it's like obviously there's written content and there's social content and there's like ads and emails and videos and podcasts and all sorts of stuff that we make to go with it that just make it feel like we really get to tell the story, in a million different ways. So I think that was most recently like the most fun to work on.
Super fun. Yeah, I can resonate with some of the stuff there. Like, this AI washing is really annoying. Like,
It's so
oh, we've got the AI. Like, no one cares. Like, we don't
mm-mm.
we don't care. Like, tell me what your thing's gonna do for us. No one's impressed that you put AI in front of your service. It's like
I don't want
it's
to
like
push the AI button. I promise. I
no,
really don't. I
no.
also really like clean drinking water. And so like as much as I
Yeah.
enjoy using AI, I also don't want to kill the planet. So it's a balancing act of like asking Claude to do my birth chart and also not spending too
Yeah.
many credits on killing the planet, and always saying
Random.
please and thank you, of course.
Yeah, please and thank you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, so it reminds me of, like, two other previous spaces that I've seen in content where it's like, I during COVID it was like, in these hard
In
times,
these trying
we're
times,
we're in this
unprecedented.
together. Unprecedented. We're in this together. Now buy our shit. Like we
Mhm.
care. Like it's like no.
We
If
care.
you
In the
say
new normal, you need more products in your house that you're trapped in all day, every day.
oh my God. Every Fortune 500 company like had the same like, oh well Walmart did this and the bank did that. Like, let's do that. And it's like, no, stop this
No,
shit. Like
I
it's the
know.
worst.
And
So
that's some
yeah,
of the stuff I have to clean up when we talk
of
about
course.
content optimization. The amount of
Oh,
like in a pandemic, in a pre-pandemic, post-pandemic world, I'm like, I don't know what world we're in anymore. Like, let's just not even talk about it anymore.
slightly pre-apocalyptic is
Yeah.
where I think we're at. So
Yeah, I don't know where the doomsday clock is these days, but it's
it's
not good.
it is boiling.
Yeah.
It's not looking positive. But you just got to keep smiling, right?
Yeah,
You know,
that's
the
all we can do.
consolation prize is if there is an afterlife, we got to die in the apocalypse. So like, you know, there's some, that's sort of like a badge of honor or something. I don't know.
Sure, maybe.
Who knows? Who knows? You know, try to the glass is half full sometimes,
All
and you know,
right, I'll take it.
yep, yep. Uh, let's see. I think I had some other questions here, just random things here. Like, so you mentioned you were a gamer earlier.
Yes.
You know, I imagine lots of the followers here are gamers.
Hmm.
What are some of your favorite games?
So I really like anything where I can be stealthy and stabby. So, I have played all the Assassin's Creeds. I loved the Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. The Horizon series on PlayStation was phenomenal. Even like the revamped Tomb Raiders that they made recently, that was fun and
Those
stabby.
are fun.
And then recently I've been playing Hollow Knight, which is just punishing.
Hollow Knight
Uh,
2 or the first one? Two's not out.
the second one, yeah, Silk
Oh,
Song.
two's out. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been playing Silk Song, dying constantly. I'm like, I thought I was at the end of Act Two, and I was like, I beat the boss, and then there was another boss, and then I beat that one, and then there was another one, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Um, and then I'm really, really waiting for Hades 2 to come out. So
Oh yeah.
I loved Hades. Hades 2 is out, but like on Switch and PC, I think. And I feel like I want to play it on PS4 or Xbox. I don't know. So I might cave and just get it on Switch, but I'm waiting for Hades 2. That's gonna be my next, when I take time off in December, I think that's what I'm gonna be doing all day, every day.
True gamer mom. When I get some free time on the holidays, I'm gonna game. Like
It's
so
it's what I
I
do over
love
the
it.
weekends,
Yeah.
evenings, whatever I can. When I'm not
Hell yeah.
journaling or leaving space for creativity or
All the things for
all the
sure.
things.
I'd say all those games are pretty awesome. And the sneaky stabby vibe, though, if you haven't played Shadows of Mordor,
Oh my God, I
uh,
love Shadows of
bro, that
Mordor.
was one of my favorites. Me and
I
my
loved
son
that
played that
so much.
so
And then
much.
the
It was
second
so
one,
good.
I called it More Doors, but that's not what it is.
It's
But there was another one they did that I really
yeah, it was
enjoyed.
Shadows of Mordor. I don't know. I could
I
look it
don't
up, but
know.
it
We
was
could,
it was
yeah,
awesome. That
that
was
was, yeah.
also really really good.
And
I know
such
some.
emergent storytelling. I loved that because, like, the idea of like someone who got you and then you got them back, and like, I don't know, the whole idea of like a nemesis or like an ongoing super
Yeah,
orc that was after you was kind of badass. Like, I really like that.
yeah, it was Shadows of War was the second one.
Oh, is that the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
one?
So Middle Earth Shadows of War. Yeah,
I just
it's
called
just
it
more
More
doors.
Doors.
I love it.
Yeah.
Coming up with just fun names. Definitely was a great game for sure.
Yeah, I
So
loved it. Definitely.
very cool. So
Yeah.
so another little question here is you know, proclaimed sci-fi geek as well. What are some of your favorite sci-fis here?
So I recently did a reread in audio of some of my faves. So I re-listened to the Murderbot series. So I had read the books originally, and then I watched the season on Apple TV, I think it was. They did season one, and it was really, really good. And so it inspired me to reread, but in audio. The audio is phenomenal. Similarly, Project Hail Mary, I had read the book originally with my eyeballs, and all over my TikTok feed, it was like, you have to listen to the audio. It's even better, even better. And I was like, is it? It is. So if you're wondering, that book in audio was phenomenal. And right now, what am I? Oh, I'm reading what is it? I Am Legion, I Am Bob, about a guy who wakes up and he's been turned into an AI for a ship. and like he was cryogenically frozen, and then he wakes up and they're like, you actually aren't a person anymore, you're now an AI. And like it just was super compelling. I'm really enjoying it. So I really like that. And then technically it's nonfiction, but in my brain it's sci-fi as well. Naomi Klein did a book called Doppelganger because she kept getting confused online with Naomi Wolf. And it's just all about like being confronted with your doppelganger and like AI and our society that reduces people to avatars. And I was like, is this real? Is this sci-fi? So it's really, really good. Just
We,
thoroughly
we
enjoying
are
that.
living in a bit of a sci-fi dystopia.
Yeah. So, nonfiction
Not too
is
far.
sci-fi now. It's great.
Not too far from Black Mirror in real life. That show was too real. Like I couldn't watch it. Like it was like it was just too dark. Like,
Yeah.
but like in a way that was kind of inescapable. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Live
watched a
rent
little
free in
bit
our
of it.
heads.
Yeah, definitely. Way too rent free. So,
Yeah.
um, pretty awesome. Well, cool. Well, Zoe, it looks like we're coming up on time here, so I did want to ask you kind of one final question here. Is there anyone or anything in your career that you'd like to shout out to the audience? Maybe a valuable mentor or favorite resource or something along those lines?
Um, I guess I'll shout out a former boss of mine, a mentor, Michael Cookie. He one of those people who you meet. Um, I truly like I will never forget he came in and I was going to report to him and he was our product marketing leader. And at the time I didn't think content should roll up to product marketing. And I remember being like, this makes no sense. You seem like a nice man, but thanks, but no thanks. And he was like, I'm going to win you over. And he did. And just like the way that he has helped me kind of view the world of business and of creativity and of content. He's now a CMO at a startup because, of course, he is. He deserves all of the CMO glory. But yeah, I think he's one of the most influential people in my career that I just want to give a shout out to.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. Cool. And then also big shout out to Krista Lee Beck from,
Yes.
she connected us with comma copywriters, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kama
Yeah. There it
Copywriters.
is.
She found
I
me.
knew
She
that.
and I found each other because she was running an event here in Arizona, and
That's
was
right.
like, "Would you be interested in speaking?" The event is called Cheesecake and Content. And I was like, "I'm absolutely interested." Like, didn't need to know anything else. I was just like, "Cheesecake content? Yes, I'm in."
I
And she
love it.
pulled off an amazing event. Such fun speakers. So, she's a rock star. So
Yes. Super great lady. Definitely knows what she's doing with everything too. So I can see how she could pull off a great little event there. So
yeah, we had a blast. And I got
that's
to see
awesome.
people in person, which is always nice. I'm like, oh, people have legs. I always forget, when we're all on Zoom.
Well, yeah, it's like real people. You never know who's just like a really good AI avatar these days, right? Like,
Fair, fair. Maybe this whole conversation was AI. I don't know.
what is it? The Turing test?
The
Apparently,
Turing
every large,
test. Yeah.
yeah, Turing. There it is. Yeah, like every LLM has passed the Turing test more than like the majority of the time, which
I love
is
it. I love
yeah.
it.
So much for that. It didn't work out for us there.
No, not so much.
Yeah, awesome. All
Cool.
right. Well, we've been talking with Zoe, who's the director of content, marketing, and thought leadership at Sumo Logic. You can check out their website at sumologic.com. But if viewers want to follow up with you directly, where should they go?
LinkedIn is where it's at. I'm trying to become a LinkedIn influencer, so come follow me there. Zoe Hawkins over there, and I have the sparkle emoji because maybe I am AI. I don't know, but I was using sparkles before AI took them over. Still mine.
Fair, fair. And EM dashes too, I assume.
Indeed, indeed.
I love it. All right, Zoe. Well, thanks so much for being on the show, and we'll see you all next time. Take it easy.
Thanks so much. Bye.
We really hope you enjoyed the show. Please like and subscribe to join us on our next journey through the world of art and business on the Pixel Retentive Podcast.